Today's episode is talking about how you can power up the way you offboard your clients. Not many people think this is a process that you need to say goodbye to your clients, but believe me, it goes a long way if you have an offboarding process. Hello, you're listening to the Courageous Goals podcast. This podcast is for high-achieving, courageous women who want growth and the know-how to scale their business online. Running a business is a journey and a process. The more we learn in action, the more we succeed. If you're a woman in business, this is the podcast for you. Be in the 5% of businesses that make it. Let's get bold and create the life we desire. I'm bringing my passion to you through advice, coaching, inspiration, and support to help you create and design the life and business you want to live. I am a Dubsado expert, CPD certified in social media platforms, and a lover of admin systems and processes. I am an accredited ICF coach, specialising in trauma and narcissism. My own coaching journey has supported my growth immensely, and I want to share those highlights with you to inspire and give you courage. Let's get intentional with our goals and make them happen. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the Courageous Goals podcast. Today we are going to talk about how you can power up the way you offboard your clients. So this one is off of the back of a previous episode about onboarding, but this one is specifically for offboarding your clients. Not many people think they need a process to say goodbye to clients, but really does go a long way if you have a process to say goodbye to your clients and really, say goodbye to them in the right way, because there's things that you don't think about when saying goodbye to a client. It might be on good terms, it might be on bad terms, whatever it is. You have worked together on a project or for an amount of time, whatever it is, and you need to be able to say goodbye to them in a very professional way that reflects who you are, who your business is. So think about what you could do to offboard your clients and how you could make the process feel quite streamlined. You know what you're doing, you know what you need to action, and how that person will feel when offboarding as the client themselves. So I have a process in place where when I finish with clients, obviously I make sure whatever it is I'm working with them on, that everything is up to date, they've got everything they need, that they have felt supported, that they can ask any last questions or give any last minute, reflections and things like that. But once that has finished, once, you've said goodbye, it's all done, and then silence. You're now not working with that client anymore. What then happens? So, as you know, I use Dubsado. It's my management system and it works really well for me. But again, you don't have to have a management system. You can do this manually. It just makes it easier. Obviously, it makes it easier to have a system where you have like automatic processes in place and you have all these automatic things created in a workflow where they just happen because you've already created like the master templates. They just work for each individual client, which I think is absolutely amazing, by the way. And if you don't have a management system in place, whether it's Dubsado or something completely different, like, 17 Hats or Honeybook or anything like that, whatever works for you, just find that system that can support you. However, if you're not at that stage, then doing this manually is absolutely fine for now, because, I was at a stage in business for several years where I didn't have a management system. I know I wanted one, but I was so in my business, working with clients and working all the hours, that I just didn't have the time or even the headspace to really look at a system to see what worked for me. And then I found this amazing lady called Kate who helped me set up, and the rest is kind of history, because I feel like, where would I have been without my system? Like, how did I not have a system beforehand? It just feels absolutely crazy. But anyway, I do have a system now. I've had a system for a while now, and I know that it's so beneficial, and to go back doing things manually is just not an option for me. So back to offboarding. What do? I have mine set up in Dubsado, so I have a workflow, and these things happen automatically, but they happen when I decide to action them. So this workflow doesn't happen until I actually go to the client's project and action the workflow. So I know that I changed the project status on my client because I know that she's now offboarding and we are not working together anymore. And then after a certain amount of time, I will send them a feedback form, which I ask them to complete. It's very simple. It's just a few questions. I don't want them to sit there for hours writing or anything like that. We don't have the time to do things like that these days. However, it's just a few questions, just so that I can get some feedback on our work together, how I was in the role that I supported them with, and what they would have liked to have worked on if we had had more time, as well as this then gives them the chance to give a testimonial, which we know how important testimonials are. We can share them on our socials, on our website. We can, share them anywhere and anywhere we want to in our marketing, so people can see that, oh, this person really rates this person. And it goes a long way. So referrals, are the top thing up there. They go a long way. You can prove so much, that you know this, you know that, you know how to do this, and show these things in your marketing. But someone giving actual feedback where they've worked with this person is ever so important. So I send a feedback form that asks these questions and asks for a testimonial, whether it's good or bad, whatever it is. You've got that feedback, and that means you can then make adjustments in your business where you need to. And believe me, I really, really have. And that's why I ended up having this system, because I wanted things to be so streamlined and in a process so that it all works for everybody. And recently, actually, I've had a really good feedback from new coaching clients who have said, Leanne, your onboarding process is really, really good. And they only know that it's called an onboarding process because they happen to be in business themselves. And I'm thinking about two particular people who I've just signed on recently. Just receiving that feedback, I wasn't even expecting it. But for them to send me that message or that email and say what they said, I was like, yay, this is brilliant. So I know that, my system works for me. In addition, with that workflow, I also have more project statuses, so I really know where that person is in their offboarding stage. I then also do a check-in at a certain point to see how everything is going, how they are, and if there's anything I can do to support them. Whether I hear back or not, I then decide to archive my project within Dubsado so that everything is closed off. All the details are still there with that person in my CRM of Dubsado, but the project itself is closed off so that I can only see my active projects. So the clients that I'm working with, they are all the current ones in the project section of Dubsado. But when you've gone through the offboarding stage, you are then archived and all your project details are then saved in the CRM part of Dubsado. So I hope this episode was quite insightful. I'm hoping it was, because offboarding, it's just, it's something that not a lot of people think about. And, saying goodbye to clients sometimes, if you're on really good terms, if you're friendly and you've become friends, it's not always easy. So doing something like this shows that you still, you have this professional manner in you and your business. And it really goes a long way to see that, they're still important, even though, they're now not working with you, that you still, value them and their business and what they've done for you as a person. Because feedback, I believe, is so, so important, because it really allows you to see where you can make some adaptations if needed and, change things up if you need to. So I really do hope it was useful today. If you haven't already, I did record a previous episode on onboarding. So go and check that out. And you are welcome to download the free resource, Your Client Onboarding Processes, which does cover all of these stages. So enjoy that, and I will speak to you soon. Thank you so much for listening to the Courageous Goals podcast. I really hope you've enjoyed today's episode and taken something of value for you. If you'd love more advice, coaching, inspiration and support, head on over to join many other courageous women in business in our free community group over on Facebook. We'd love to welcome you. You can also find free useful resources over on the website at leannebrown.com/resources. Right, that's all for this week. I look forward to sharing another episode with you next week.